thinking of you. Summertime, think it was June. Yeah, I think it was June. Laying back, head on the grass, chewing gum, having some laughs. Yeah, having some laughs. You made me feel like the one, made me feel like the one, the one. You made me feel like the one, made me feel like the one, the one. Drinking back, drinking for two, drinking with you, when drinking was new. Sleeping in the back of my car, we never went far, we didn't need to go far. You made me feel like the one, made me feel like the one, the one. You made me feel like the one, made me feel like the one, the one. I don't know where we are going now. I don't know where we are going now. Wake up, cold coffee and juice, remembering you. What happened to you? I wonder if we'll meet again. Talk about life since then. Talk about why.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Saturday night's Live Love Lounge. We've got a good night tonight. It's all about transformation in the community and in recovery, and about the leadership.
Okay. Apologies for the interruption there. It sounds like Chris is having some.
Programming to different areas, and how it's used to its best ability. I have the privilege to work with, which is
Apologies, it sounds like Chris is having a few problems there with his mic. Just while he gets that sorted out, I want to say welcome. Are you back with us, Chris?
I am. Do you know what? It just wouldn't. It just messed me head. It's fine. It's fine.
It's not falling off. Let's try again.
Right. So, welcome everyone, and to the Saturday Night Love Lounge. And we have a brilliant night tonight. It's all about transformation in the community and transformation with recovery. And I will put in the leadership program and into different areas, and how the leadership's helping different things in the community and in recovery, and I will move it forward. So I'll hand it over to Shelley Dixon to explain who she is and say hi.
Hi guys. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Shelley Nixon and I am the leadership project lead. So anything that comes through Red Rose Recovery with a leadership stamp on, it's pretty much come through me and my team. Okay, so I'm here tonight. I've got the really important job and probably the best job of reading all the comments. So just before we get started, I can see that we've got 16 people online at the moment. Can you all please just give us a like, give us a share, and try and get people dialing in, because ultimately this is the Lancashire User Forum. It is a safe space and we want people from all over the county to get dialing in. Okay, who do I pick next to introduce? I'm I'm going to pick Alan.
Hi everyone, I'm Alan Griffin. I'm one of the people that have done the leadership programme just recently, and I'm a volunteer for Red Rose Recovery and Lancashire User Forum, and it's just a privilege to have done the leadership alongside Shelley Nixon. And I'd just want Gary to introduce himself. You're on mute, mate.
I do that every single time.
I do.
You're all right, I'm Gary. I'm a lead volunteer for Red Rose. I've also done a leadership programme and got a few projects on the go myself because of that, and that's what I'll be here talking about tonight.
We'll hand it over to Richard. Richard? Right, we'll get Richard to introduce himself when he comes on. And everybody, so we have a great show tonight. Like we say, I've had the privilege of doing a leadership programme, and I facilitate the leadership as well with the great Shelley Nixon, and that with Gary and stuff, and Michael Taylor. And we have a 12-week programme. We have a condensed programme that's over a space of 3 days. And we've been branching out. It's been great. It's been great fun, like and share people. And that because we have to get this message out there. This is a safe place for everyone to be. This is a safe place for everyone to come and share what's going on with them and hear the message, get the message passed. You know, it's all about that awareness and everything, what's going on in the community. And we've got a lot to offer. So like and share, everybody. I'm going to hand it over to Shelley Nixon. We've got a great interview coming up with Alan Griffin, who I've got the privilege to work with, and know he's a good lad. So I can't wait to hear this. And I'll hand it over to you, Shelley.
I don't think Shelley's here, mate.
Right, I'm sorry about that, everyone. And that, I think everyone's had toilet breaks, and that, which is fine, totally fine. And that's all. Gary, right, I'm going to come to you to start off, if you don't mind, mate. And that, would you like to tell us, mate, how the leadership programme and how you benefited from the leadership programme and how you put it into the areas of your lead volunteer job that you're doing at the moment in the community and stuff like that, and the projects you've got going on, because you do an amazing job and you've got a lot of things going on, my friend, which people need to be aware of and, you know, get involved with. So I would like to put it over to you, mate, to explain everything, please.
Yeah, hello. Like I said, my name's Gary and I'm a lead volunteer for Red Rose. I did the leadership course a few months ago now. And yeah, you know, it was a great course. And I was very privileged to be on that. So basically, whilst I was on that, I went on that to gain a little bit of confidence, because I had an idea of where I wanted to go and what I want to do and stuff like that. But you know, not long coming out of jail, you know, not having very many chances, not having very many choices in the past, I kind of lacked that self-esteem and confidence. And yeah, I was given an opportunity. I was given an opportunity to maybe go on and start building on that stuff. And you know, the person that did that, you know, he's a member of staff. He runs a football team. He saw something and he put me forward for it. So yeah, I give it a go. You know, on there, there's a lot of. It's very intense. The condensed version is very, very intense. And if I'm honest, I was kind of scared and kind of feared up about going in there and maybe, you know, not fitting the bill, not being good enough. And yeah, you know, when I went in there, I was a little bit timid, but I was with a lot of good people, a lot of people that understood. And yeah, you know, I did the condensed version, and it was really good. It was really good. It helped me build that little bit of self-esteem, that little bit of confidence, and you know, in all seriousness, it allowed me to be a bit more creative about what I was thinking, because I was quite stunted in, I want to do that and I want to do that, but I didn't really get how I was going to get there. The course really helped me do that. You know, it showed me that
I'm totally with you. I had the privilege of doing that course with you that week, and it was amazing and stuff. And I was stumped just like you, Gary. And this leadership program has brought me out in many ways. It's made me get in touch with certain things which I knew was there, but when I came into recovery, I didn't have the ability to be able to use it and stuff, and that's what the leadership programs give me, and that's what I think it's done massively for you, Gary. And I'd like you to explain how it's done that, if you wouldn't mind elaborating on how the leadership's actually helped you and what it's done for you, because I think you've got a story to tell, and people need to be aware of and get involved with it. And
yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, it kind of helped me build upon them, that little bit of self-confidence, that little bit of, you know, that little bit of courage that I needed to move forward with what I wanted to move forward with. You know, I've had many ideas about recovery and what I want to do with Red Rose and Luff and that for a while, and that leadership showed me that I've got qualities that actually I didn't realize they were as strong as they were. Because like I say, I've come from a place where I got nothing but negative my whole life. So to go on there and actually see that I've got good assets, I've got good positives about myself, and that, you know, that my ideas are worth listening to, and not just listening to, actioned upon. Do you know what I mean? And I felt like that course gave me that. You know, it gave me an opportunity to put structure in place in my mind of how I want to do stuff. You know what I mean? Because like it says in it, you know, a leader is not just someone who says go and do that. A leader is someone who stands there with them people and goes with it with them. And I didn't realize that. If I'm going to be honest, I just thought a leader is the guy in front who gives orders, who does that, who blah blah blah, and that's a leader. It turns out that's not a leader. You know, a leader is one that shows the way, that goes through, and I really took that from that, and that resonated really, really well with me, you know. And so since that, my idea is I wanted to open a coffee shop recovery place for people that haven't got anything on a weekend to do, that haven't got so much, you know, of a community themselves, that are kind of isolated, that are kind of lonely. So I had the idea, and that idea is now being actioned upon because of the confidence I've gained. So that is going to be a reality. In October, we will be opening it every Sunday, and it'll be open to people that are homeless. It'll be people that are in recovery, people that are actually, you know, struggling in recovery. And we're going to come down. It's going to be a safe space. We're going to have a brew, maybe a piece of cake or whatever. And the main thing is we're going to be connecting, because that's what it's about. It's about the connection, and it's about gaining that confidence in a support network, and actually gaining a support network, because a lot of us don't. And that's going to lead on to other things. That will be leading on to helping people learn life skills like cooking on a budget, you know, basic stuff, but so big. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I think it's going to go a long way. I think if it's done properly, and I've got amazing support to help me do it, and it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have that support. Let me just say that, you know, I need to acknowledge the people that have supported me to not only get it up and running, but support me in my vision, and allowing me to make mistakes, allowing me to not only make mistakes but learn by them. And they've not pointed them out like, how you've done wrong. Like, this can be improved upon by doing this maybe, and that's what it's about, you know, support. And that's what I fully advocate, you know, when I'm with people, I really enjoy supporting people, and I like being supported today. Never did I like to do things on my own. Like I said, I thought a leader was someone that you do this and you do that. I understand that a leader is now just a leader's not a leader if they don't have good support. If they don't have people that will help and listen and maneuver around, then you're not a leader. So yeah, I really advocate this course. You know, I'd say like and share.
So can I stop you just 1 second, Gary?
You certainly can.
You've got an interview coming up, and that, mate. And I don't want you to give away too much because you've got great things going on. You're doing amazing, and I want you to be able to explain it proper, and that what in your interview, and that. So everybody like and share because Gary's doing amazing things in the community. He's doing amazing things for himself, and it's all down to this leadership, and it's all down to how he's using his leadership to be a leader, and that, and you know, get involved with Gary. So I'm going to hand it over to Shelley Nixon, and that's the beautiful Shelley, and she's going to give you an interview, Gary.
Thanks for that, Chris. Yeah, we have got a couple of interviews tonight. We've got one with Alan first. Then we've got one that we pre-recorded during the week. So I've got a little bit of a video for you. And then we've got the one with Gary. But just before I touch on any of those, I just want to say it is wonderful to have so many people online tonight. I want to say a big hello to Jonathan, Kim, Rebecca, to Joe G, Joe B, to Lauren, hello, to Kath, Nicola, Michael, Stuart, Emily, Chris. It is, as ever, lovely to have you with us. Something that has just caught my eye coming through, as Jonathan has said, a leader is not a dictator. And I think Gary started to unthread those little nuggets. Because, as you say, a leader isn't necessarily what we all think it is. But that's what I love about the leadership program. That's what I love about it. So, yeah, if we could bring Alan in, I've got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's great. Thank you. Don't worry, we don't bite. Not twice, anyway. So, just a couple of things that I wanted to ask you. So first of all, you've only recently completed the leadership program, haven't you? As in this week.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you originally hear about the leadership program?
So basically, I was already engaging with Red Rose Recovery as I was part of the football team alongside Chris and Gary. I heard it was word of mouth as the people have already done it, so I wanted to see what it was about. And I basically I kept asking questions about it, and they were just bigging it up and saying that it's the best thing that they've done.
Okay, so why did you personally decide that you wanted to be part of this once you'd had those conversations? What was it that you thought, yeah, I could gain something from this?
So for me to choose to apply for it was to better myself and better my chances for my future goals in the long term. Okay. Just not just in the short term. So okay. Further down the line with the leadership program would help me.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you mind me asking, before you actually started the leadership program, what did you think you were going to gain from it? What were your expectations?
I didn't go in with any expectations, as basically every time I have had expectations, it's always failed me. Okay. And or people have always let me down. So if you go in with no expectations, you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? I think there's a lot to be said there, because I think a lot of us go into things with a level of expectation, and great if the actual end product exceeds it, then all's well and good. But if our expectations are too high, I think sometimes we do ourselves an injustice, don't we?
Yeah. So if you go in with nothing, you're always going to come up with something.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one piece that I'm going to definitely take away from you. So what is it that you actually gained from the leadership? And I'm not talking about the qualification side. I'm talking about...
I've gained how to take perspective on different situations, as I've had a couple of altercations just recently.
Okay.
And the way I've approached these conflicts and altercations basically a total different way than I actually would a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's helped me to be a proper professional and to be a different person with other peers.
And do you know what? I think the fact that you've been able to use it so quickly as well. Did you feel that it was something that you'd learn those skills and you'd box it off, you might never use them?
Do you know what? I was actually surprised how I'm coming up with all these little words and that. So obviously that Tuesday night I was using safeguarding. I never even knew what safeguarding was. And it was just like, it's coming natural to me now because I've learned it. And it's like, you've got to put it in practice when you're learning. So if you don't, what's the point in going in for the programme?
Yeah, absolutely. Credit to you. So do you mind me asking, just tell us a little bit about what your plan is moving forward for the future in actually utilising the skills that you've now learned?
So basically, I want to start like leading my own little projects, like the sponsored walks and everything, put things in place and actually act on them instead of a few weeks ago, I'd have the plan there, but I'd never put it forward and I wouldn't act on it. So basically, you've just got to use your leadership skills now to utilize everything that you've got to find the right members of the team to help you to make it active and put it in action. And I'm just planning on to help other recovering addicts and people who are involved with Red Rose to get involved now and hopefully go through the program like I have.
That's absolutely awesome. Thank you for that, Alan.
Okay.
Chris, have you got anything that you wanted to ask? Because I know that you went through, it wasn't too recently for you, was it?
You're on mute, Chris. Chris, you're on mute.
I do it all the time, don't I? You know, it's a nightmare, that mute button. Should get rid of them. Anyway, yeah, Alan's absolutely right. I went in with no expectations at all. It was just something to do at the time. Somebody offered me the privilege of doing it, and I had nothing better to do. And I went along. I signed up for it, and I went along. And you know what? It was amazing. It was amazing. You know, the condensed course was a bit like drilling at first, but it was amazing what you take away from it at the end. The safeguarding, the emotional intelligence, getting in touch with yourself, knowing how to put them leadership skills into place, them boundaries that say all that stuff. I didn't realize just how many boundaries I'd let go in my life. I didn't realize just how involved safeguarding is. I wouldn't have been able without the leadership to be able to elaborate and have a conversation with somebody about safeguarding, about boundaries, or about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence to me was spitting my dummy out, and now it's about picking up on other people's feelings as well as my own, being able to manage them feelings, being able to be able to go behind the door, deal with what I've got to deal with, and then when I step back out that door, be the leader that I've got to be, and be the person, that everybody else needs to see, and get on with my daily stuff. And that's what the leadership at first really gave for me. And I didn't pick up on any of this until I'd done the course, got my certificate, and then all of a sudden I'm using it. I'm just putting it into place, and it was brilliant. And you know what, Alan? I see it in you. This is where I'm going with this. Since you've done it, well, do you know what? I think you've been putting little things in place just before the leadership. I think the leadership came just at the right time for you. And stuff. I seen it on the sponsored walk, how you got involved, on the live feed, on stuff like that. You was a really good member of that sponsored walk. How you got involved, how you dedicated yourself, how you was speaking to the community. How you was showing that awareness, raising that awareness by telling people what we were doing and stuff like that. Alan, like I say, I think you're a born leader. And it has to come out. And I think this leadership's going to shine with you. So, yeah, it's a privilege to know you anyway, Alan. you're on the football team, and I'm going to do good things with you. I know I will. And if I do good things, I hope you jump on board, and you're welcome to come and help me do good things, my friend.
Yeah, of course, Chris. Thank you very much for that, mate.
You know, I absolutely love this because it's you go on to something like the leadership course, and I think everybody expects it to be really quite academic, quite teacher, quite classroom side, and to a certain degree it is, but we do try to make it fun, and it's, I think, because it's relatable, you get so much out of it. And now, Alan, your session by default, you ended up on a 1-to-1, didn't you?
So it was a 1-to-1, but it wasn't really academic, like a teacher teaching me. So it was like, he was asking me what I think of boundaries and what I think of emotional intelligence and safeguarding is. So we were basically like teaching each other.
Yeah.
But in one aspect, I was actually taking all that knowledge into my head.
Yeah.
And without you realizing it's all in there, it's just when you're using it, you don't realize that you're using it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it was actually a good session that I had. It was intensified, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
I must admit, I don't think I've known anybody get through it as quickly and as intently as you have, because as you say, you were literally doing it one day, and then that evening you were, well, every day since, actually, credit to you, you've spewed out something that we discussed as part of the program. And I can see a big growth in you. And I have to agree with Chris in that I saw quite a lot of natural leadership skills within you before the program. And I think the important thing for anybody to remember is we're not going to teach you anything new. All we're going to do, we're going to coach you to open that can and understand it. Because if you've always been a great big bundle of nerves, of feelings and emotions, and you couldn't understand them, then actually let's break them down, let's make sense of it. And that way you can deal with it bit by bit. And I think hearing stories such as yours is so motivating, because you have literally, it's like a coin flip with you, with how instantaneous. But the same can be said for Chris as well, to be fair. I hope you don't mind me saying, Chris.
I don't.
You are a lively character, and we love you for that. We wouldn't change that at all. But I do think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that having done the leadership program, you went and did a sponsored event shortly after, and you went out front and set an example. Your whole demeanor was just, I don't know how, more refined.
And you know what, Shelley, you're absolutely right. I think I struggle with certain areas. I am like a flip coin. You're totally right. You know, it's like I have my moments, right? Yeah, and I wouldn't change them moments, right? Yeah, that's a part of me. And that, but then when things come into play and things I have to do, I think I fine tune myself and I trim them areas. It's like trimming a rose bush and stuff, and like tidying the thing up a bit. And I know what I need to do, and I get it done, you know. And that it's like I jumped into facilitating the leadership not long after. And that was you, Shelley. He was good enough to take me on board and trust me and give me the privilege, which was brilliant. Thank you. And I've never done anything like that. You know, doing something, sat down in the classroom learning something is daunting enough for me, you know, and that. But then standing up in front and like showing everybody everything I've learned, and that weeks later was crazy. And stuff, but do you know what? I took it on board. I got involved, you know, and I'm a facilitator, and that shows great leadership inside me, and that shows me I have them skills, and I have learned them skills, and I have refined what I need to refine, and stuff. And this is what I want to just put out to everybody who's watching, or anybody who's on here who hasn't had the privilege to do the leadership or hear about the leadership even. And that this is what it's there for. Believe me, I was that person that was in addiction, knew I had leadership skills, you know, but they were all messy. It was all leadership skills in the wrong areas, all emotional intelligence in different different area that comes with addiction and stuff. But and then it's like you come into recovery and stuff, and you are emotional. Your emotions are back. They're like a roller coaster. You're learning new things about yourself. What you've lost. You're learning new things that you never ever knew even before you went into addiction and stuff. And it's like, and you know what? Love them things. Use these skills. Use these skills to find out who you are as a human being. That's where that emotional intelligence comes involved. Knowing who you are as a person and stuff. You can't know who you are if you don't know who you are. How can you know who somebody else is and how they're feeling? And you know, I'm pretty in tune with things like that now. And I do you know what? I want to just show gratitude right now to the leadership and you, Shelley, because it's been an absolute privilege, and it has. And do you know what else is a privilege? If the people that are watching tonight come on one of our leaderships, and I will be one of the facilitators on the day. And do you know what? Right, it will be a massive privilege to have you there. It'll be a massive privilege to teach you these leadership skills and to see you using them, to see you getting involved with us and using them. Because believe me, we need people. We need people. So like and share, right? Yeah, get involved with it. Because believe me, even if you don't take something away from it, and then a few weeks later, you find you're putting a boundary in place with your kids, with your parents, with your dog, and stuff, right? Yeah, you've learned something. You've learned something, you know, and that even if you just learn one thing about yourself a few weeks down the line after you've done the course, it's been a bonus. Get involved with it. You know, there's loads of things that we're doing with the leadership and stuff, and we're after people coming through, learning by these things, learning what to do with these skills, yeah, and these assets, and that's what they are, assets. And I think everyone on here would agree with me, right? Yeah, that without the leadership, them assets would be gone. So I'm going to hand it over anyway because I can go on a bit. So
not a problem. We have got people asking how they can get involved. So what I'm just going to do is share the leadership, the contact details for us. All right. So for anybody that's on your phone, on your computer, whichever way you're on it, please feel free to screenshot that is there now. We will show it again through the day, or through this evening rather. I'm not staying on all day. These are the contact details. Obviously that's myself. I've got Michael and Gary that are contactable. You can also contact Chris if you want. Chris, do you know your email off the top of your head? No, that's fine. We're in the process of getting that set up. So please screenshot that, guys, if you want to be involved. The only thing that we ask is that you're a Red Rose member. But this has led to so many other things, and I think people don't remember how to learn. So the Red Rose team don't teach you things, they coach you so that you can learn in your way at your pace. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that now because we have got some things coming through on the messages that I think we need to mention. So hello, we've got Kim, we've got Stuart has logged in. Hi, Lovey. We've got David saying that he's looking forward to participating in the course once it returns back to St Anne's. Don't let that put you off. If you want to put your name down, do it sooner than later, because once we've got a not sufficient number, we will come to you in your area. Okay, doesn't matter if you're in St Anne's, if you're in Preston, if you're in Chorley, Accrington, Burnley. Believe me, we get about. Okay, and I've even got my little projector now, so please, I need to practice. I need to play with it. Okay? So couple of little things to remind you of. Please like and share this evening, because the only way that we can share the news that the Lancashire User Forum is a safe space is if you cascade it, and there is nothing stronger than the word of mouth. Okay, David, that is absolutely brilliant news. Get your name down with Lorna. Drop me an email, drop me a text message on the details that we've just shared. And please, as soon as we've got enough names, we'll get you a session put on. A couple of other things that are going on at the moment. So this evening, I don't know if you're aware, we've had a competition running recently to win a Love hoodie and t-shirt. We are drawing that tonight. Yes, we're going to have a couple of winners. I know, it's exciting.
It's me who's going to win, so I'm excited.
No, I went into that. No. So what else have we got going on at the minute, Chris? We've got the Slice of Advice on a Fridays.
Slice of Advice. We've got the football team. We've got Gary's cafe nearly up and run. That which Gary.
Don't let that out the bag yet.
Right.
Backtrack. What have we got through the week?
We have football game next Saturday. And that we have a mental health awareness coming up. A mental health day, we're doing something for that. We have a football game 2 Saturdays on a row. The Saturday coming and the Saturday after.
Where's that at?
What else? We've got quite a bit going on, haven't we?
Okay, Thursday nights we have the football team.
Yeah, the football team and that. So yeah, we have every training every Thursday at Meadow Lane Park Cricket Club. And that, come down, people, come down, get involved, sign up for Red Rose, and if you are signed up for Red Rose, you can get on that team, come down, join us, you know what I mean? We're a great bunch of lads, and that we have a good time, a good laugh, we have our own football kits, we get around Lancashire playing and stuff, other teams, and that we have the privilege of raising awareness in the community with it. And stuff, and telling people our story, and breaking down that stigma as well. Going and playing other teams goes and shows other families that come from the other teams and normal teams that are not dealing with addiction and stuff. And when they hear about us, like everybody else out there, and that they're probably thinking that stigma kicking in, and that. So it's good to show our faces, get our faces involved, and break down that stigma and show we're just human. We're just human beings, and that we're good people, and we deserve the chance of recovery and the respect that comes with being a decent human being.
And I think that's key, isn't it, Chris? The whole thing, it's all about the stigma that comes with it, because we think about addiction and we think about drugs and alcohol, but actually what the Lancashire Use It Forum stands for is for anybody that's in recovery, and it doesn't just have to be substance misuse. Do you know what I mean? It could be alcohol or drugs, it could be sex or gambling or shopping or depression.
Food addiction, any addiction's addiction, know, and I can share this, people, because I want that putting out there as well. I want everybody to be aware that this isn't just a recovery based unit, and this is an addiction based unit, and there's many of addictions, buying clothes, gambling, drinking, food, drugs, the list goes endless and stuff. And we are here for you. Everyone at Red Rose and the Lancashire Use It Forum is here. This unit is a safe place for everyone to be able to come with one of them problems, right? Yeah, know that there's people with ears and a good heart that are willing to listen and give you some help, or give you some advice, or get you involved if you want to just come down and do that. Anything.
It's not just about the people that are going through it either, is it? It's the people that have been through it and maybe just need that little bit of support, that just, as Peter Rabbit always used to say, it's about teaching people to love themselves, and we will be there to love them regardless. But it's about the families as well, isn't it?
Do you know what, Shelley? I'm glad you just brought that up, because when you were sort of out there about this Lancashire Forum, we're open to all areas and stuff. And you know what, right? Yeah, I struggle with this. I struggle with this stigma. Do you get what I mean and stuff, right? Yeah, because I get it. I get it in a way. I've got a big heart. I've took a lot away from the community in my lifetime. I've been part of that stigma out there And I've been the one with the fingers pointed at. I've been the one with the growls at and stuff. I've been the one damaging my family. I've been the one damaging people's lives in the community, other people's families, other people's kids, and that they've been worried about when I've been doing things hurting people and stuff. And I'm not proud of any of that. So, but one thing that I've learned by this is I get it. I get that stigma. So it has to be brought down because people get stuck in that horrible place about where people have been.
Yep.
And not where they can go.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things that I want to get out there, one of the messages that have just come through on Facebook is that it's about mental health. Can people join in if they've got mental health issues? 100%, because ultimately it is all about mental health. No one person that I have ever met has got to where they are in life without having some sort of an obstacle. Okay, sometimes these are little tiny obstacles and we can brush them off, dance to them and get over it. Sometimes they take a lot more. They take a lot more support that's required. So as a team at Red Rose, we're constantly trying to upskill our staff, our volunteers. We're constantly trying to look for new ways to try and help ourselves, to help you and the families. Okay, so if you have mental health issues, absolutely 100% come to. Okay, my background is not in addiction, and my background is nothing to do with alcohol or drugs. Mine is recovery from the word's gone off, adverse experiences in the past. So mine's more to do with trauma. Some people don't have that one trigger, they have lots of little things. Now, whether it be counselling that you have, because obviously under the leadership programme, we do have a counsellor, we can refer you. That's nothing to do with the NHS. We do have life mentors, which Alan, I'm just about to come to you about if you can elaborate on the football, because I can see there's a couple of questions asking about when people can come on and join the football. But can I ask you just to mention, because you've recently got a life mentor?
Yeah, I've just got a life mentor today. Obviously the person is actually watching right now. So basically I've gone out and met him today, and because of my mental health state, how it's been for the last few days, I have spoke to Red Rose Recovery, and the best decision that was made was for me to get a life mentor to help me on it when I needed, to check in on me, and just to help me with my mental health state, to get me down that right track instead of me just deteriorating and going off the wrong path. So basically, that Red Rose offer you a lot of stuff. There's all other courses you can do, which I'm going to touch on the trauma bit that I've done just lately, Shelley. So I did the trauma informed training at PNE. So me and Gary and Shelley are qualified now to train people within Red Rose. Even someone that's watching it, but I can't say the name because of safeguarding issues. I know she knows who she is. But yeah, so there's a lot out there for Red Rose Recovery to help you with. It doesn't matter what mental health you've got. It doesn't matter about what recovery or what addiction you've got. These people are just there to love you and just to help you. And I really take my hat off to them to actually try and help someone like me. I'm not being nasty, but someone like Chris and Gary as well. We've all got the same issues. We've all been through bad stuff. And for doing what we've done to become leaders and actually be out there helping people is just amazing.
And I think you just touched on a brilliant point there, Alan, at the end of the day. It's all about relating with one another. And that's what our us as recovering addicts relate. That's how us with mental health problems. That's how us with other issues like trauma, past things in our lives and stuff, family issues and that prison life. And that this is how we can relate as a team, and we can understand what everyone's going through. And I just want to elaborate on this a minute, if you don't mind, Alan. And that this mental health thing that we're going on about, this trauma and stuff like that, this isn't just going out to you people in addiction. This is going out to your families that have suffered through your addiction, that have got mental, like my family, like my mum that suffers with depression and mental health problems and stuff like that. My mum's well aware where she can turn with Red Rose Recovery and the Lancashire User Forum and stuff if she ever needs to. And that, so I would like you to reach out to your family if you want to. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's showing a bit of love, and that's what we have here. A lot of love for people like this and for your families and stuff. And there is nothing wrong with giving your parents or giving people that you've hurt in your past or anything that place to turn if they're suffering with the trauma of having an addict as a child, you know, or having a recovering addict and they're still going through, like my parents, the trauma what I caused in my past, you know, and that, and my mum will suffer with that for a while, and I'm not embarrassed to say that, you know, and that because I'm a better person now, and that. But there is places for our families to turn. There is places for your family to turn, and believe me, there's a massive heart for them as well.
Absolutely amazing, that Chris. I can relate to the family bit as well. So I've had to have Shally help me just lately because I'm suffering with a bit of trauma with my kids and my family. And obviously that they're there to help you. You're just asking you guys. Like he says, ask and you shall receive. If you don't ask, you don't get, do you? Do you know what I mean? And obviously I'm one of these people that are stubborn. I don't like to ask for help. And just lately I've had to turn my life around and start asking, because if I don't, I know where it's going to take me. So if people watching this, just start getting involved with Red Rose Recovery and just get your hearts involved, get your head right, and then obviously it does a lot for your mental health. That I wouldn't be sitting here on a Zoom meeting doing this right now because my confidence was shocking. And I can't lie, just before the meeting I did message Shally privately saying I'm absolutely scared, but I'm smashing it right now.
And you know what? Those little butterflies of nerves are healthy, because if you don't have them, you clearly don't care. So the leadership program is all about trying to make you understand the positives. Now, we have had quite a few messages come through on the live feed. Thank you. Please keep getting in touch. Keep sending messages in. We will try and answer every single one of them. Please like and share. If you'd rather, love it and share it. Okay, so to people that are looking to get onto the leadership program, as I say, please just get in touch. I will bring the details back up on the screen very shortly. Okay, you can progress through to becoming a volunteer. Absolutely brilliant. That's the support that we want. Okay, Jill said very aptly, basically it's about having someone else. Everybody needs somebody to talk to. Jonathan has mentioned that he's got a Red Rose counsellor and it's helping him tremendously. Jonathan, that's amazing to hear, because ultimately these people are working with us because they want the same outcome. They want to support and they want to help. A message has just come in for you, Chris. Lots of love from the lovely Kelly. We are proud of you too, Chris. So it just goes to show that everything you're doing is worthwhile, my friend. Janet or Jeanette, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, has said that she too finds it very hard to ask for help. And do you know what, guys? It's actually human nature, because it's human nature for us to focus on the negatives first. And I think the one thing that we try to breed within the Lancashire User Forum and within Red Rose Recovery is that nobody's above anybody else. Nobody's better than anybody else. Okay. And I've come into Red Rose Recovery from quite a lengthy career within the civil service. I'm not better than anybody. I am learning more on a day-to-day basis from each one of these gentlemen here that have gone through the leadership program than I could ever quantify in my past. But the thing that I love the most is I have a very naive upbringing when it came to drugs and alcohol. And you know what? I can sit there amongst these people and ask a very naive question, and I know not one of them will laugh. And the reason being is because they understand. The people that we are working with are not here to judge. The people we're working with want to love and be loved. And it is a huge community. So please, please share, share, share. Okay, Michael has said, well done, Alan. He's got no confidence and he could never do what you're doing. Do you know what, Michael? I challenge you to message me your number and I will shape you. I promise you, I have not had anybody fail yet in all
And
my
she hasn't,
years.
Michael. She hasn't, mate, because I was like
Physical
same as
challenge,
you.
Michael. Physical challenge.
Yeah.
Take the challenge, lad. Take the challenge.
It's a bit like the ice bucket challenge, this, isn't it now? We want to start seeing them certificates. One
You've
thing
got
that we
three
haven't-
winners. You've got 3 winners right here, haven't you? You've got 3 winners right on this show right now.
Absolutely.
How have you not had a
Absolutely.
loser? You've never had a loser, never.
No, I've not had anybody come out of the leadership and fail me or them. I just want to say hello to the people that have just joined us very recently. Michael's messaging me now. Get in there. Yes. I'm
Go on,
watching now
Michael.
for my phone lighting up. Ian, I want to say hello, my friend. David, he's loving it tonight. He's met us all on the sponsored walk. I'm so sorry if I can't place your face, my friend. I've still got blisters. For those of you that aren't aware, well, all 4 of us here did it's supposed to be 15-mile walk from the centre of Preston to Lytham St. Anne, to St. Anne's Promenade, and we did it to raise awareness for recovery. The likes of Alan and Gary made it look like an absolute breeze.
Because it
Chris,
was.
you cheated, Chris. You got in the car.
Let's just say, right, if it wasn't for Chris, right, that day, we wouldn't have had the support when we got to the finish line, and I'd start to thank him for that. Even though he did ditches, but at the end of the day, you do need that one person to actually keep people motivated all day whilst we were walking and killing ourselves off. And for the likes of me, Chris, and Gary, the next day we actually had a charity football match as well.
We certainly did, my friend. And you know what? Thank you so much, Ellen, and that, because I'm glad I got to St. Anne's early. I really am glad I got there, to tell you the truth, and stuff, because it was a fine day. We had loads of people down there at the pools at the side of our peninsula line and stuff, and it was about keeping people there, keeping them involved, keeping them interested, sharing that story, sharing what we were there for, that awareness, breaking down that stigma, everything, you know, what we do in the community. And it was about showing St. Anne's people that we are a force to be reckoned with, that we have got a big heart, right, yeah, and that we are massive in Lancashire when it comes to showing that love and showing our hearts, right, yeah, just to give somebody an ear or giving somebody advice or just giving someone somewhere to turn or getting someone involved in the community with anything they need help with. You know, and I had the privilege of just meeting loads and loads of people and the kids as well, you know, and I met some really great people, and I did, and you know, it was a brilliant day. It was a lovely day, and I didn't get the blisters, so I was happy.
But you say that, and you can laugh all you like, but my blisters were well worth it. I might have tiny feet, but do you know what? Do you want to hazard a guess, guys, how much we raised?
£2,800.
If that's what you donated, you just absolutely burst my balloon there, Alan. Thanks. No, we raised £1,200.
Woo woo! Go on.
And do you know what? If recovery can do that, and we walked, I think I got the bonus because I was in a red shirt, weren't I? The rest of you guys were in black ones.
Oh,
My
I
heart
was
went
in a
out
white
to
one.
him. Absolutely melted.
Right, I was in the white one.
Yes, of course you were in the football.
I was representing the football
yes.
team that day.
Yes,
Somebody had to.
absolutely. Yeah, there was it was one of the hottest days as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Charlie, someone's just asked you about how did they get in touch with Red Rose Recovery.
I've just seen that, and I'm just about to put on the screen the contact details for us again for the leadership. But if you want to join Red Rose Recovery, then the best, quickest way around that, my friend, is to go to your app of choice. So whether it be Play Store or your App Store, and search for Red Rose Recovery. When you download it, it'll ask you to create an account. As soon as you create that account, it flings through to our system and tells us that you're there. Within 48 hours, give or take, one of our leads will give you a ring. Most probably the gorgeous Babs, who I've not seen yet tonight. I'm
The lovely
missing our
Barbara.
Babs.
The lovely
Um,
Bob.
So yeah, there is actually a message that's just come through saying cheating is cheating. Blisters disregarded, but well done to everybody.
For
Thank
those
you.
who
Yeah,
know,
great.
You had to get that message out there. didn't
Of
you?
course I did. We interact with all of our people.
you know
All of
what,
them.
Jeanette? You're absolutely right there.
Absolutely. But do you know what? It was the updates that I was getting, the music from the amazing, was it Chris Fogg that we had playing at the other end, and Jack, who we've been trying to get hold of Jack all week. I have no contact details for him because I don't know his surname. Please, Chris, message me on this number and let me know how to get hold of him.
Right, no worries. I'll sort it all out for you.
Thank you
I'll sort
very
it out for you.
much.
And I'll give Chris a call as well.
Okay, I'll just leave that up for another moment. For anybody that wants to take that final screenshot of how to get in touch with us. And then I'm going to play a video. This comes from one of our latest leadership successors over in St. Anne's. Absolutely wonderful chat. And please, if you guys could just mute yourselves while I share this video, that would be absolutely bob on, please. Because I want to give it all due credit. I'm just hoping that the ice cream van doesn't come across again. Okay. As you can tell, IT is not my forte. Actually, I don't know if I'll have to do it again because I don't think I've shared the volume. If there is anybody in the world that wants to do all my IT for me, please put yourself forward because, yeah, really appreciate that one. Okay.
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 So, hello, I'm Jenny. I'm a volunteer and service user with Red Rose Recovery in the northern area. So I'm here today to talk to a relatively new member of the Red Rose family. So Mark, thank you so much for agreeing to have this chat and share some of your experiences of addiction and recovery and your experiences of connecting with Red Rose Recovery, and in particular the leadership program, which I understand you've recently completed.
Yes.
So I understand.
Okay, so it looks like we're having a couple of issues. I will try that again. Let's go again. Apologies for this.
You've come into recovery fairly recently. Could you begin by saying something about the events and circumstances that have brought you to the point that you're at today?
Yeah, that's fine, Jenny. Well, as I say, I'm Mark. I'm an alcoholic addict, and Basically, my relationship with alcohol actually started when I was 7 years old, when I had my first drink. That was stolen out of my parents' drink cabinet. And I had 3 swigs of whiskey and fell flat on my face and missed school the next day because I had a vicious hangover at 7 years old. You know, it was normal for children to have a little glass of sherry at Christmas or something like that, which I did, but I always wanted more. My drinking didn't really kick off until I reached the age of about 16. And essentially, just to fill you in briefly on my background, I had a lot of bullying at school, a lot of problems. I had low self-worth, low self-esteem back in my school days, lack of confidence, fear of failure, everything.
Very common.
And,
Very common
yeah.
among addicts.
And eventually the bullying went to a head and everything else. And Easter of 1980, I think, or 81, I made a suicide attempt, which saw me in hospital for 3 days unconscious. And it was after the suicide attempt that I took a year out of education and I was just going to have a rest. And that's when I really started running away from my issues, running away from myself and running away from my responsibilities. I started drinking quite heavily and using cannabis, bought a motorcycle, started living what I thought was the dream.
Rebel without a cause.
Yeah, I found that drugs and alcohol gave me what I wanted. In other words, they made me feel accepted in a community because I never felt accepted. I felt that having been accepted, they relaxed me enough, and I felt that I could communicate better, have a better time, play my instruments better, everything. But that was a fallacy. That was you know, a complete delusion.
Well, they do work at the beginning, don't they? Until they don't.
They do at the beginning, yes, and you're efficient and you're doing everything. I could go in and out of jobs just like that. Look, no problems, I thought. But gradually over time, my drinking started to increase, and it didn't just stay with cannabis. It moved on to LSD, cocaine, ketamine, speed. And by the time I decided to do something about myself, time has lapsed now, and we're into just before the first lockdown, which is a bit over a year ago. And what I started out thinking was my salvation, drink and drugs, really wound up to be my slayer. You know, as I say, I lost 5 jobs in a row because of my addictions. The house that my parents left me became a tip. Stopped eating, stopped changing the bedding, stopped cleaning.
Everything fell
eventually,
apart.
All I wanted to do was drink and take drugs. It didn't matter that I had holes in the roof. Where's my next drink coming from?
Yeah,
and I'll do it tomorrow. I nearly froze to death on Ansdell Bridge in an alcoholic coma in the middle of winter. I've been through a car windscreen on my bicycle. I've caused more fights and said more evil things in drink and drugs than I ever have sober. There's an old saying that what defiles you isn't what you put into your system, it's what comes out of your mouth. And the demon drink and drugs lower inhibitions, or lowered my inhibitions to such a point where if I was angry, I just let the anger out. I didn't care what I was saying to people. how it
Yes.
affected people, but always waking up the next morning with guilt and shame out of the blackout and remembering what you've done, saying,
then, of
I'll never
course,
do it again.
You use
and you
or drink
on it.
more to
Yeah.
cover up those feelings of shame and guilt,
That's
and
right.
so the cycle continues.
Yeah. So I'd been to, by this time, I'd been yo-yoing in and out of AA. I had tried AA, but to no avail, because what I realised was about when the meetings are over. What about when you go home? What about the empty spaces in time? And I'd had many attempts to stop, and I'd heard from a friend about Inspire on St Albans Road and Red Rose. A friend of mine actually that I was at school with and hadn't seen for donkey's years. And we met again with him in recovery and me in active using. And he said, well, this is what I did. I approached Inspire and I took it from there. So
That
I'd
was a
reached
turning
the
point
point
for you.
desperation where I thought, yeah, you know, I've got to do this or I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to be dead, or wind up in an asylum with a wet brain, which is a horrific thing, or cirrhosis of the liver or something terrible. So I came to Inspire, and I remember ringing on the doorbell and saying, I'm Mark, I'm an alcoholic addict and I don't know what to do. Can you help me? And the lady said, come in. And she took my details and it went from there. So what happened was, I thought that I was going to be coming into Inspire, seeing the detox nurse, getting a Librium detox, and maybe attending a few groups. How wrong I was. And I'm pleased to say that with a very, very big smile on my face.
So this is where Red Rose Recovery comes in.
This is where Red Rose comes in, because prior to my detox, I had to
And when was your
commit.
detox? Just to, this was...
My detox was 8 weeks ago, my
Right,
Librium
okay.
detox. So basically coming up before the detox, well, I was drinking roughly 2 litres of whiskey a day, neat, plus beer, plus wine, plus any other alcohol, plus speed,
topping it.
plus ketamine, plus weed, plus coke, plus LSD, plus smoked coke. There was nothing I wouldn't take at the end.
Yeah.
And my head was just all over. Very disillusioned, unhappy, frightened, negative, no self-confidence. And what I did, I was on too much alcohol to be detoxed. So I was advised that I had to reduce. So over the year, to cut a long story short, because of the groups, and because of what I learned in the groups at Red Rose, the pre-detox group and the abstinence group, I managed to successfully give up 6 drugs in a row. The last of which was alcohol, which I'm now halfway through my 7th week.
It's amazing. Congratulations. Well done.
You know,
That's an
I
amazing
feel
achievement.
Absolutely fantastic. So I had the detox, and this is where Red Rose really came into its own.
So you
Because
started the leadership program. Am I right in thinking?
I did.
Was it during the detox?
I actually started the leadership program during the Librium detox. Actually,
Wow.
Yes.
So how was that? How did it help? Did it sort of give you a structure, a focus? How did it help you get through the Librium detox?
Basically, you know, when you detox from alcohol, you've got the sweats, the shakes, the dry retches, anxiety,
Mhm.
irritability,
Yeah.
all of these things. And what the Librium
It's
did,
vicious.
vicious, not sleeping, not eating. And
Yeah.
what the Librium did, it calmed me down. The dose was calculated so well that it didn't knock me out at all, as I thought it was going to do, but it actually helped me in the groups and helped me to do the course because I was relaxed while I was on it.
Yeah.
So while I was in the pre-detox group, Lorna, who is absolutely fantastic, she looks after
Initial reaction to that, did you were you a bit
it was
reluctant at first, or?
I was a bit set aback because I thought, well, I've got no skills, I've got no computer skills, I've got no this. I haven't, you know, worked in an official group or anything like that.
So your confidence was very low at this point.
And I was afraid of my memory. I was frightened of failure because I thought, well, my memory's not going to be up to it. I'm not going to be able to take it all in. So I was putting barriers in place to my recovery, which is what we naturally do.
Yeah.
But what happened was, you know, the cut and thrust of the pre-detox course is to say, right, I am me. I have feelings, emotions. I own them, they're mine. It's okay to feel the way I am. And it's okay to be fearful about things and unsure.
Normal.
And put your best foot forward. And I thought, well, if I don't do it, I'm never going to find out. I'll always wish that I'd done it.
So you went for it.
So I went for it. And
so what did you learn on the course?
Incredible. Well, essentially, what Stephanie, the lead tutor, said to us was that we're not really going to teach you anything that you don't already know.
Okay.
Rather, what we're going to do is we're going to bring what you know and let it bubble up to the surface from the ghost files in the back of your brain. Because remember, I said that as we progress in our addiction, we gradually withdraw from society ourselves, and the abnormal becomes the normal.
Yes.
So you forget you've got skills, and you forget how to use skills. The thing is, they're not lost, they're just forgotten.
They're just dormant, waiting to be reactivated. Yeah.
And what happened, I came on the course, and I'd like to start by saying that those who took the course, who were our tutors, namely Shelley, Chris, Stephanie Masterson, and all the crew, were absolutely, I've never seen anything as smooth in terms of deliverance in my life. The way that Shelley and her team were actually working together and the way that they were putting it over was very, very, very affirmative.
Masterful.
And masterful. And what they were doing in a very, very quiet way, they were affirming our actions instead of me running myself down internally. They were building myself up and leading me to believe that it was a false perception I had of myself.
Yes, it's very common, isn't it, to lose confidence and lose that sense of value in yourself. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure a lot of people can identify and relate to that.
Yeah, so, you know, the course, what it taught us, we learned about what boundaries are, what safeguarding is, and why they're important for other people and why they're important for ourselves,
Yeah.
not just in a group setting, but you can take the course into daily life outside and use it
Absolutely.
just as well. And this is
Mhm.
why the course is so flexible and so well engineered.
Yeah.
It also taught us that when we come into contact with people, everybody's different. Everybody's got a different learning style. And it taught me to be mindful of the fact that I can put something one way, but a person may not necessarily understand it and may find it easier doing it from another approach. It taught me about conflict and how to resolve conflict
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
everyday life
Mhm.
by coming to an arrangement, a compromise,
Mhm.
allowing each people to speak
Yeah.
and be heard without butting in. It taught me that each person's voice is important and that we're all important and valuable
Yeah. So
individuals.
these are skills that are widely applicable, aren't they? That can
And
be
widely applicable.
transferred
well
to
as-
many
yes.
situations. Yeah.
Yes, as well as CV building, which was
Yes.
absolutely fantastic. It's something that I haven't had a lot to do with for years. And so what the course was doing, the massive thing was I went in with very, very low opinion of myself about my capabilities. But as the course progressed, I realized that I was beginning to see all of my bad points, but all of my good points as well.
Yeah.
And I could
Yeah.
see that what the
Much you have to
tutors were
offer.
doing
Mhm.
were actually recognizing my good points and then nurturing and building those up.
That's amazing. It sounds like it was really, really transformative for you then.
So transforming.
I'm very conscious of how much time we have available. So I'm going to ask
Of
two
course,
quick
yes.
questions at the end. So what would you say to anybody who's maybe also at quite an early stage of their recovery, and you know, maybe the leadership programs being offered to them, and maybe they're a little bit reluctant and unsure as you were? What advice would you give to somebody in the position that you were in?
I would say from the position I was in, I was so desperate and so ill that I had nothing to lose but everything to gain by going to Inspire. I would say that don't judge the first group and say this is what it is. You have to get into Inspire. You go into the groups, you get to know people, they get to know you, and then the magic of how it works starts to unfold the longer you stay.
And with the leadership program particularly, how's that sort of, what advice would you give someone thinking of getting on that?
The leadership skills course is for everybody, quite literally everybody. It doesn't matter whether you're in pre-detox or whether you're in abstinence. What it did for me, and this is very important, in pre-detox, having done the course, I became aware of my abilities, and I then thought, wow, look at what I can do with my life. I'm not lost. Now, I was still using, don't forget, up to the course, but then what it did to me, it gave me the motivation. When we ask what motivates us, it gave me the motivation to say, having found what I've found, I'm not losing this. I'm not going to drink anymore.
So it was really instrumental, actually. It was critical in getting you to that next step.
And it made me realise that I couldn't move forwards unless I was abstinent. And so it gave me the encouragement and the reason to get abstinent. Doing it for myself, obviously, you have to do it for yourself. but also look at what I can achieve if only I do get
Absolutely.
abstinent.
So what are your goals then? What are your sort of, I don't know, like medium term goals looking forward to the next 6
coming
months,
off
year
the-
maybe?
Yeah, coming off the leadership course, very interesting. I got involved in a project in Red Rose Recovery sponsored walk
Ah, of course
from
you did,
Preston
yeah.
down to the bandstand. Back to the course, and I found a model of how to go about setting it out, the
Amazing.
agile method of making
See,
something happen.
you
So
had
I drew the
all the
diagram
tools were there, yeah.
and I put the tools in place, and we had to ring the police, the council. I had to source tables, musicians, bands.
Quite significant responsibilities then.
And it had to come together for the 28th of last month at 9:30 in the morning. And it came together on the
And it did.
28th at 9:30 in the morning. So
Amazing.
I've taken the course and put the course into action. So what I'm doing now, my medium range view is I'm now staying with Red Rose doing the groups. I've done the leadership training course. I've been offered induction training by Emma Daggers into voluntary work with Red Rose.
Brilliant.
And it's my intention to stick with it and grow as time goes on, and grow with you and nurture something which is very, very, very valuable
Precious.
in our community. Red Rose Recovery and the leadership skills course, and everybody within Red Rose Recovery, the tutors, Shelley, Chris, Michael, Steph Masterson, they all do a superb job. And the course
They'll be
is
chuffed to hear that.
invaluable. But the course is
agree.
invaluable, and the way they put it over was superb. And so
Brilliant.
to anybody
the
coming
sky's
in,
the limit.
yeah, and for anybody coming in, you've got nothing to lose, and it really will change your life for the absolute better. And I'm looking forward now to learning IT skills with you, going on the speakers boot camp.
Yes, yeah, I think I'm doing
which
that
I'm looking
soon.
forward to. I'm doing all sorts of things, and I'm also looking forward to doing some work with Lancashire Users Forum as well as doing some
Brilliant.
voluntary work in the church.
That's all incredibly positive, isn't it? That's a brilliant note to end on.
Aware of what we are about, our mission statement, and what we do.
Absolutely.
So,
Right, Chris, are we back?
We're back. So do you know what? That was really humbling. That was really lovely and really beautiful. I had the privilege with you, Shelley, with Michael, and with Steph, of going to St Anne's. That was my first facilitation. So that was great to hear. That was great to hear that people were listening. You know, that people were getting what we were saying. You know, and it shows all them leadership skills that Mark's on about, and the lovely Jenny as well. You know, she's just completed her leadership and stuff. I had the privilege of facilitating that on Zoom as well. You know, and it goes to show how people can grow just through this leadership. You know, Mark was going through a bad time. And he was going through a bad time. So this is what I'm saying to the people that are watching us live now at this moment of time about the leadership. Mark was going through a detox at the time that he came, and he stuck with us. He stuck with us, and he stayed with it. and he learned a lot from it. As you can just see, you can just see his growth. And the leadership skills that he's developed is massive for me. Yeah, I'm like a proud dad. So I am. You know, it's brilliant to see what he did at the finishing line. You know, the dedication he put in for us on that charity walkover in St Anne's and stuff. Right, yeah, putting his leadership into place. And you know, I think he's grown. I think he has just grown massively. You know, I think he's a dedication to be proud of. You know, and I'm glad to have him on board over in St Anne's and stuff, and he'll be a valuable member.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't thank Jenny for doing the interview and Mark, because being part of that journey and actually seeing how the skill, being part of him realizing the skills he already had, but then to go on and demonstrate them as he did, because I'm not being funny, had he not have been there, that end, the bandstand at the end of that event would not have been there. Are you with me? Something I just
that's totally right, Shelley.
Yeah, something I just want to get out there. We have asked, somebody has asked if you could just tell us again where football is training and where the game is on Saturday, please. If you couldn't please just give us that, Chris.
So the training is every Thursday from 4:30 till 6:30, 7 o'clock, because we do an after meeting as well, which is like a recovery base where people can just connect after the football and unwind, have some Greggs and enjoy yourself. And it's at Meadow Lane Park Cricket Club in Abraham, Preston. And the football game is at Leyland. Gary, come in, please, mate.
Is it Leyland LFA again?
No, it's not. It's
Is
not,
it not?
Chris, it's where we train, bro.
Oh, no, it's where we play, isn't it, Alan?
For the
It's-
next 2
it's
weeks, it is where we train. So we've got a match on Saturday the 18th at 12 o'clock at the place where we train, which is South Meadow Lane. And then the Saturday after, I'm not sure on the kick-off time, but it's at the exact same place.
What time
Yes,
to kick
so-
off at this week, Alan? Do you know?
12 o'clock. So if you can get down there for around 11:30, 12, if you want to come and support the lads.
Yep,
And
get
obviously
down there.
that you can see
show
what
support.
football's about. Yeah,
Yep.
see what football's about and see how we all are. Because the whole football team is just ex-addicts, ex-criminals, people in recovery, and people with mental health. So it's not really a proper football team. It is based around recovery. So we're out there raising awareness for Red Rose and raising awareness for mental health and addiction. We're just getting the name out there and to show that we can all turn our lives around with recovery and how much we've achieved and how far we've come.
That's right. And we're having fun at the same time, aren't we, Alan? So
Yeah,
So,
so
you know-
the football team's like a little family. Obviously, I've met Chris through the football team, and it is a privilege to know Chris and Gary. It's just an honour to even be involved with the football team. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, through that team, I've come in to know Shally and got through this program. And obviously, that's just a little gateway to get engaged with Red Rose if people are interested in getting engaged. Because even though it is a project for Red Rose, you still have to engage somehow. But that can just be a little gateway into it. We can sign you up for Red Rose. We can get you involved with other projects, events that are going on. And obviously, like Chris, I have seen a little comment, mate. How do you get to know about the information of upcoming events that Red Rose Recovery and Love have?
Yeah,
So-
absolutely, 100%, Alan. Thank you so much for that. We've got information coming through. David, we've got the message for the phone number that you sent. Thank you so much for that. He will be on my quick dial. A quick message from whoever's running the Red Rose Recovery stream last night is pointing out, and quite rightly so, I dropped the ball, that actually that testimony from Mark is a really strong example of the relationship and the partnership that we have with Inspire. Christopher McMullen says we are all leaders. We are. What we try to do is make sure that we're leading the right way and that we're improving everybody as we go. Kath is saying she'd love to do the leadership. Get involved, get that app, get it downloaded, get in there. As soon as you start engaging, we've got music therapy on a Monday night, we've got family fun days on Friday evenings, we've got free pizza in Preston on a Friday, people. That's when you can work, that's why we have the football the day before, so you can work it off in advance. Go on, Alan, you were going to say something?
So this is something to Jeanette. So she's saying that she's dangerous with a football. So obviously Gary, who is on here now, is starting a netball team on behalf of Red Rose Recovery as well. So obviously Jeanette, you can get involved with that. You've got Gary's number that has been shown. Just get in touch with Gary and he'll give you all the details.
Yeah, good call, Alan. I'd completely forgotten about that. On that note, if anybody does know where we can get some netball nets, maybe a high school or something that you know that might be getting rid of them, please let us know, because we are open to donations of those. We've got messages coming in from Simon saying, get involved, guys. The footy guys and ladies is the best thing that he ever took part in. And I think that's a really good point. So thank you, Simon, is that it's not all men, is it?
So
No,
right, the football team's women and kids.
Yeah, our diversity is massive. You know, we have children coming down, playing. We have women, you know, and that we'll have anybody, you know, the love stir for anybody. And that we've got plenty of love. Come down, even if you don't want to sign up with Red Rose through the app. You know, Gary is there. Gary will sign you up. And that when you come down to training on a Thursday, that is you signed up there, and then come down to training at Meadow Lane Park this Thursday, and that we'll have you signed up. We'll have you on the groups. We'll have you involved, and you could even have a football shirt on Saturday at the game if you come down and get involved this Thursday.
That sounds
Absolutely
absolutely
amazing.
awesome. Thank you for that, gents.
So I will just say the little kid that is playing for the team at the minis will be playing the match on Saturday.
And she certainly will, because she deserves to.
She does
She's
deserve it.
She's so tiny compared to all those grown adults, isn't she? Love
Yeah,
her
but
to
do you
bits.
know what though, Shally? Right, it's a privilege to have a kid on the team, just to show that we've got no morals. We will act with respect for whoever turns up. Do you know what I mean? So from our addiction and that chaotic lifestyle where we broke down boundaries, we've hurt a lot of people to show that we're accepting women and kids to come and have a kick about with us and putting them on a pitch playing football.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
absolutely
think it's
amazing.
just about accepting them out, though, Alan, because what I've observed, because I've been down a couple of times and had a look.
Yeah.
I don't do football. I can't kick football to save my life, but I'll be with Jeanette, and I'll be playing the netball, and I'm really looking forward to that. But what I have observed is the respect from the guys and how protective they are of both the women and the woman and child that are on there. So yeah, please don't think that if you're hardcore football, that you're not going to fit in. If you're mediocre and haven't kicked a ball in 20 years, please come down, because it's about the collaboration. It's about the support and the networking and the making friends and just having that support around you.
Definitely. You know, I'm 17 stone 6 pound. Believe me, I run like a slug on a bad day, and I have to take 2 inhalers to get off the field when we're finished. And it's like, it's not about what you can do. It's not about how big you are. It's not about who you are, what you've done. You know, it's about coming down. We're a family. We're a family. We respect each other. We've got dignity and love for every one of our team and everyone else out there. And you know what? And that is about being a part of something bigger than just yourself. It's about being a part of something good in your life, having something positive to focus on, having something where you can go and connect and relate to people and just enjoy a couple of hours, you know, of your time. And if that gets you out of that space, that bad space that you're in, then you know what, it gets me out of that bad space now and again. I love going down there and I enjoy it. It does my well-being perfect. You know, and you know, that's any, if any other reason than your own well-being, right? Yeah, and being able to just get out your own shell and get out your own thought space. Right, yeah, come and get involved. Come and get involved. Come and meet the people. We're all human. We're all human beings. And you know what, right? Yeah, you'll be surprised. You'll think, bloody hell, I should have done this earlier.
Yeah, and it's not even about, even for those people who can't kick a football around for whatever reason, because we respect that not everybody's in that health space, come down. Some of the guys that have just stood there to show support. A big hi to Chris Fogg, by the way. You've just signed in. Lovely to see you, my friend.
Yes, Chris.
Janet, I keep questioning this. Is it Janet or Jeanette? So I'm just going to call you JJ. It's just pointed out that in Preston, we have got the big picture in Preston on the flag market, where you draw an A2 picture, and following on is 8 consecutive Mondays in writing days about recovery. So if we've got any budding writers, feel free. Might be one for Jenny, actually, because she's really good with her writing, isn't she?
Yeah, she's gonna help me do something, actually. You know, Jenny's a star when it comes to stuff like that.
Absolutely. One of the things that I just want to address, and this is going slightly off topic, but it's something that I want to address because it's something that I've been asked a couple of times this week, because for one reason or another, I've spoken to a few family members of people in recovery, and the common thread that we get through all of them is that they phone Red Rose Recovery, and more often than not, they will say, I just don't understand. I don't understand why or how somebody can do this. And the message that I want to get out there to everybody, whether you're in addiction, being in addiction, never been in addiction, or whether you're observing it or seeing it in people around you, don't try to understand it. Don't try to understand it, because it is an illness in itself. If my eyes aren't working, you wouldn't try to understand what I'm seeing. You would take me by the hand, you would support me, and you would take me to an optician to get it fixed. Okay, it's not about understanding people, and that's where we as society go wrong. In order to help each other, we need to simply accept that something isn't right. And the best thing you can do, my friend, is listen. Okay, I've had a phone call today from somebody saying, do you know what, Shelley? I need somebody to talk to. Do you know what? I'm going to make a brew. I'll make a few noises for a few minutes, and I will sit down and I will listen to you. And we will finish this conversation on a high, and you will be laughing. Normally at me, but hey. And it's like Chris has just said, it's just come through now. It's a disease. It's a disease that affects everybody. Addiction and mental health are the two things that work alongside each other. They're a parallelogram. That's not easy to say.
Parallelogram.
And that's what and that's what we're doing. Sorry for jumping in, Shelley.
Okay.
That is what we are about. You know, making that awareness known, showing that awareness, giving understanding to people that need it. You know, getting these communities, getting family members, getting people that are struggling with the sidelines of people in the families in addiction that are suffering through this because they don't have any understanding. You know, which is. It's sad. It's sad, really, because they take this on themselves. They take on a person's disease, right? Yeah, themselves, and with it being a disease, the person owns it. The person owns it. It just affects everyone else, and it can't be helped. It's not your place to take that on board. You know, you give that person, show that person where they can go, show that person that there's doors that they can take. You know, but don't destroy yourselves through it. Do not destroy your own out because you haven't got the understanding of what the person is going through.
Yeah, and on that, we do have 3 specific groups on our website. If you're a Red Rose member, please, you can go to, it's on your app. You've got your What's On calendar on your app. For those of you that don't have the app, go to the website, because we've got 3 Family Matters groups. They are there for people that don't quite know what to expect, don't know what the right thing is or isn't to say. It's for the families, for the friends, not just the people that are in the mix, because your addiction, your recovery is more than just you, my friend. You come first, but it is a much bigger story. And the beauty of these sessions that we have, the Family Matters groups, is that they're actually run by family members and Red Rose staff. So you're within safe surroundings again. Just having a quick look at the comments again, because they are moving lovely. Addiction and mental health is a disease just like anything else out there. It's nothing to be ashamed of, but like anything, it's human nature. We don't ask for help naturally. Are you with me? It's one of those things, unfortunately, as humans, we push ourselves further than we possibly should. And that's the thing. If you're going to lead by example, because I find it very hard to ask for help, but actually I have to be the first one to say, do you know what, Chris, I'm really struggling today. Can I ask you to pick this up, because I need some space for me? And you've done that for me during the week this week, so I thank you for that.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem.
Yeah, it's about us being leaders within everything that we do, isn't it? Lead by example, I think, is probably
do you know what, Shelley? It's about building that effective team. We cover this in the leadership.
We do.
You know? And building an effective team is having that understanding of your team, your team colleagues. You know, it's knowing the weaknesses, knowing what they're good at. It's about having that emotional connection with them to be able to go to one another and be able to say, well, something's not right today. Yeah, what I mean, and that, can I have help with this? You know, there is no shame in asking someone for help. There is no shame in it. And you know what, right, yeah? By asking for help the first time round, you're not going to be stuck there, right, yeah, with no knowledge the next time it happens. Right, yeah, you're not going to be stuck there the time after, still in the same position you was the time before, right, yeah, with no information, because you haven't had the courage to just get past that fear and ask what you needed to the first time round. And when you do ask that first time round, you'll know what you need to know every time on then in your life for that same situation that you're going to go through. You would have learned by it. And so just do it. You know what have you got to lose? What have you got to lose by just saying?
Everything to gain and nothing to lose.
That's it. You know, and I know I can turn to all these people if I need something or if I need to just talk. You know, I know that you're all there. And do you know what? That's amazing. That is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Joanne Moyles has said that she can relate to what we're talking about here, because she finds it really hard to ask for help. Chris Fogg has said it's never easy to ask for help, but it's always remember that there are so many people out there that feel the same way as you do, and they do understand. Don't do it alone. You'll always be stronger with an army of people behind you than ever on your own. And I'd just like to add to the end of that, Red Rose Recovery and the Lancashire Youth Forum will happily be that army. That's what we pride ourselves on.
We are that army. We are that army. We are that battalion of soldiers that have got everyone's back if they just need it.
Yeah,
absolutely correct. That is, you know what I mean. So people see Lancashire Youth Forum and Red Rose and they start shaking because you just see ex-addicts, but really and truly, we're all just soft teddy bears.
Yeah,
we've all got a soft heart and we just want to do the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've been handing my personal number out to addicts that are in active addiction right now in town to try and get them involved with Red Rose Recovery and come through me. So I've been handing my number out left, right and centre, not realising the harm it's going to do to me. But if I'm helping people in addiction, which I didn't have, I'd prefer do that than see someone die in a gutter.
And that shows, do you know what, Alan? That just shows, doesn't it? I've done exactly the same. I have done exactly the same. Not even thought of my own well-being. That just goes to show the love we have for people. You know, that goes to show how decent human beings we are. You know, and we've come from this bad place. We still get that stigma, don't we? We still get that stigma, you know, and that because people see us still as addicts, you know, not as a recovering addict. You know, when we're on here now, if some of the people out there in the community were watching this and that, Alan, they would be looking at us addicts. You know what I mean? And they're not seeing where we've grown to, you know, not seeing how far we have come. Right, yeah, that we have got focus today, and we have got the skills to do something better with our lives and become decent human beings in society and stuff. And you know what? That goes to show how big your heart is, mate. And that don't, you know, that don't ever change that. I say don't ever change that. Just get another phone.
You know what though, Chris, is that it doesn't bother me handing my number out. Because I'll give my number to anyone. I'll even plaster it onto the live stream now if anyone wanted it. You know what I mean? But the difference is when people have got the balls to actually ring that number and ask for help, you've got to want it. We can't help people if they don't want to help themselves. And that's what it is. So I want to help people, but it's whether they are willing enough to engage with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Alan. There's a couple of messages that have come in that I do just want to address before we go to Gary's interview. This is just a reminder for Gary that he is still coming on. He's been sat there waiting in the green room so long, bless him. So Kath has said that she is a carer, so she really struggles asking for help. And I think that's human nature, because we think about other people so much more. The lovely, wonderful Nathan has come on. Red Army, Red Army. Chris, do you know what? You've summed this up absolutely perfectly. He's always said that being part of the Red Rose family feels like the best bunch of broken toys coming together to fix one another and to support each other. It's like a real life Toy Story. I love that message, Chris. That is bob on. You need to patent that, because otherwise I'm nicking it.
You can nick it.
I'm nicking it. Jeanette has said that, Alan, you are absolutely lovely, but you do have to look out for yourself too, as selfish as that sounds. And believe it or not, we do cover all of that under well-being as part of the boundaries. So although these guys will put their numbers out there, they are 100%, they will look after themselves. And I've seen this being implemented this week. Simon has said, true gentlemen, Alan and Chris. I think that must be a spelling mistake, that. Always helping the people and thinking of them and their safety, as well as being an absolute credit to the cause and to the charity. Is absolutely proud to know both of you. Michael Philpott has asked that you can message him, please, Alan, so we can pick that up. Yes, Alan, Michael has asked if you can message him, please. Can you private message him?
I'm just trying to find him on Facebook now, Michael. Don't worry, mate.
Perfect. Thank you very much for that. So if we may, let's go over to the lovely Gary, if you're still there, my friend.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Still here. You've not nodded off then?
Well, not yet.
Good. So you are quite new to being a lead volunteer with Red Rose, aren't you?
Yeah, just a couple of months now.
Yeah, all very, very exciting stuff. So I hope you don't mind. I've got a couple of questions for you about your journey, particularly through the leadership program, if that's okay.
Yeah. So
I want to know, because your experience of the leadership program and going through it was quite different to Alan's. He had a one-to-one. Could you please tell us a little bit as to why you signed up for the leadership program in the first place, please?
Yeah, so like I mentioned a little bit earlier when I was on, at the beginning, I struggled with confidence and a bit of self-esteem, and I have a lot of ideas of of what I want to do to help people within recovery, because I've been let down quite a bit. So I got involved firstly by going to the football team, and I went there, and you know, I got a little bit of confidence. You know, I started, because I'm not a very social person, so I started socializing a little bit more. And it was recommended that I try and apply for that, and yeah, start bringing out them ideas and start looking at the qualities that I do have, rather than all the negative stuff that I put on myself. So I was put forward for that. Yeah, just so I could work on myself a little bit, really.
And do you know what? That's not, some people might think that's selfish to concentrate on yourself, but it really is far from, because ultimately we're all out to improve ourselves, aren't we? So bearing in mind the intensity, which is clear from what you said earlier on, for anybody that's concerned about whether or not they can get through it, whether it's just going to be so boring, what message have you got for them?
Believe it all. No, I'm joking. What I would say is, yeah, it is intense. It is very intense, but at the same time, it's done in such a way. This is for me. It's done in such a way that, although it is quite quick paced, you'd be very surprised on, like what Chris was saying. You'd be very surprised on what you remember and what you pick up and what you take from it. And you know, if you are struggling a bit, these guys there, facilitators, there's yourself, they will sit down and explain stuff that you don't understand. So it's not like if you don't understand it straight away, that's it, you're lagging behind. That's not what happens. You know, you're supported throughout the entirety of it. And if I'm going to be honest, if you're scared about the pace of it and the intensity of it, we do run a program that's a little bit longer. It's an extended program, and that's the exact same, just in a longer period. So if you struggle with retaining information like very fast, go on the longer one, and you get even more support. You know, you get to learn a bit better at your pace. I mean, luckily with the condensed version, I kept up quite well, I believe. You know, I enjoyed it, and to be fair, I probably listened more than I spoke, because there was that many different opinions and that many different views on things that I just didn't think about. That, yeah, that's given me a bit more of a perspective on other things, and it's shaped my views a little bit differently. So yeah, I would just say, look, if you're thinking about it, there's different speeds of it, and just work out what's good for you, and we would be able to sort that out.
Okay, so
That's it, Gary. Would you say, Gary? Sorry, Shelley. Would you say, Gary? To be fair, right? Yeah, it's all about adaptation around the people that want to come and do it. It's not at our pace. So we've adapted these programs. We've adapted these programs, and that's for all areas of different sorts of learning, and that sort. So, like you say, yeah, very confidently. Would you say that there's not one person out there that would not get this at some point? You know, it's all about how they want to learn, how they want to do what in their time frame. You know, would you say that's a fair comment?
Yeah, like I say, I went on the condensed one because I do retain information quite well. And like I said before, we've got courses that are 12 weeks long, and it's at a slower pace, and it's, you know, it's at an easier, I don't know the word, but it's a bit more comfortable. But yeah, you're right. There isn't anyone that can't go on there and get it, because it's adapted around people. It's, you know, it's not this is the course content, this is how it's going to happen. It's more of, this is the course content, how can we help make it fit you?
Yeah, because Chris, I think you'll be able to corroborate, every single course that we do is different, even though the material and the actual message that we get across is the same, that it's actually a completely different experience. Would you agree, Chris?
I would totally agree. You know, like I say, I've facilitated this program on Zoom in different areas, you know, and that with different people, and not one that I have done has been the same as the next. And stuff. Different people bring different things to the game. It's all about you people out there that want to come through and do it. It's not about us as facilitators, and that it's about refining your skills that you already know. It's about bringing out of you the best in you and stuff. And, you know, we let you do that. And, you know, I have the privilege of remembering every single person I facilitated to. And I love that because I took something away and learned something from you. You just brought something to the table for me to be able to walk away from and smile at night when I go to bed and go, it's been a good day. It's been a good day, you know, it's been a good group. And I get a kick from that. I'm not going to lie. You know, I get a really big smile on my face and a lovely kick just to be able to see people grow. Just at the beginning, when we ask people who are leaders, one of the first questions we ask on this course, who feels they are a leader? And just seeing everyone stand up at the end when we ask the same question at the end of the course. Just seeing everyone stand up, you know, and just know that they've got it. They've got it. You know, we are leaders, and that's humbling to me. That is lovely. But yeah, Shelley, you're totally right. Never. It's the same program. We work the same program. No matter through the literature's the same. Everything we do is the same. But it's just a different project altogether. It is just. You know, there's never one that's ever done the same, is there? Even though it's the same literature and the same stuff.
Okay, thanks for that, Chris. That's really valuable stuff. So, Gary, just coming back to your experience, pal, what was it that you personally gained from the programme? Apart from obviously the fact that we're getting the accreditation, so you're going to have the qualification, what did you gain from it on a personal level?
Again, just that confidence, really, you know, to move forward, that my ideas that I do have are valid, you know, and that I do have certain qualities that actually, you know, I didn't really see as qualities. You know, if you would have asked me a couple of months ago, are you a leader? I would have said, yeah, I'm a leader, but I wasn't, because I didn't understand what a leader actually was. Like I said earlier, I thought a leader is just like, right, you do that, and you do that. That's not what a leader is. What a leader is what is your skill? What is my skill? What is your skill? Let's do this together.
I love that.
You know, I never knew that. I wouldn't have looked at other people's skills and said, right, okay, you're better suited at doing that than I am. So I would have sat there, I would have been, I'm doing it. That is my responsibility. It's me that's doing it. You're just going to do what I tell you to do. And yeah, so I gained quite a lot from that. And following on from that, you know, I've learned that the support that you have, the people you have in place in certain places, will determine whether you will be successful or not. It's not about having your mates or having whatever there. You know, it's about the assets, and it's about what people can bring to the table. And from that, we'll probably talk about it a bit later. But yeah, I've got some projects up and going because of that.
Well, I was just about to ask about those. I was just about to say, so given that you've learned all these skills, and it's almost like presenting a magic wand to somebody. Yeah, you can go off and work all sorts of ride unicorns and all sorts now. But what is it that what sort of plans do you have, or have you put in place for the future to consolidate this learning that you've got?
Yeah, so I have like a very large end goal, but what I've realised is that end goal is not achievable unless I start small. So what we've done is we've got in contact with a local cafe that has so nicely offered us their space to go in and use their space to help other addicts, families of addicts, you know, people on the streets, you know, people that have that stigma attached to them, to come together, have a brew, have a, you know, slice of cake, whatever, but most importantly to connect, you know, to come together and realize we're not alone. And
Can
you
you
know,
tell us a bit about that? What is that? When's that set up? Where's it going to be?
yeah, so we're hoping it's going to start at the beginning of October. The actual date is yet to be determined, but the time will be from 11 o'clock till 1 o'clock. That'll be every Sunday. Wait, 11? Yeah, 11 till 1. That'll be every Sunday. It's in Preston City Centre. At the cafe's called The Larder. It's a beautiful space. And to be, you know, I've met the owner and she's awesome, and she wants to help with the community. She wants to give back herself. So for a local business to put themselves out there is amazing. And yeah, so we just want to provide a safe space over the weekend for people to come and connect. And, you know, there'll be opportunities to sign up for Red Rose there. We can do that via internet or via paper form. Again, you'll get to meet some of the volunteers and some of the lead volunteers and staff. And yeah, it's yes, Alan, you will be there. And yeah, so it's just a safe space for that. But you know, and that's just the start. That's just the tip of where I want this to go. You know, from there we will be helping people with key skills such as basic cooking. You know, cooking on a budget. It's hard out here with you know, limited resources, and so yeah, I mean, I myself, when I first come around, I struggled. I didn't know how to cook on a budget, so I was eating takeaway every day, you know, and I ended up being 22 stone and, you know, not healthy at all. Now I can cook, you know, I can cook meals, I can enjoy myself, and that's because someone's took that time out to show me how to do that.
That's in addition to the Sunday morning coffee shop, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not the same thing.
No, so that's hopefully that will be the second stage of the coffee shop recovery. It'll be in the same building. It'll be run with the same people. But yeah, it's just another opportunity for people to come out, enjoy themselves, and connect.
Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that myself. I think I might pop down, to be fair.
I think I will as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm absolutely nervous about this coffee shop. Like.
Don't forget though, Chris, there will be other people that need to eat.
Oh, mate. Why do you have to burst me bubble? Next you'll be asking me to bring my own food down.
Well,
Might save us a bit of money, mate.
Anyway, Gary, you know what? You're right. The cafe is an amazing place.
So, in all seriousness, it's a really
Shelley, you're lagging. You're lagging quite
Shelley.
fast, Shelley.
You're not coming through at all, Shelley.
Is anybody else struggling to hear?
That's
Chris?
much better.
That's a lot better.
We were struggling to hear you, not me.
Okay. I'm not owning that. I'm delegating that problem.
I wouldn't either.
Can I touch on about your course as well, Shelley? What you asked Chris and Gary.
By all means.
So mine was an intense one. Mine was just I smashed mine through reading.
I think yours was more intense than intense. I'm trying.
Yeah,
to
so
think.
mine was proper that advanced style, like push.
Hardcore.
But what I'm saying, I've sat in as a trainee to be a trainee with Michael on one of the Zoom ones, and even I learned something new after I've even done the course, because it's a lot different how he did that one than how he did it with me on a one-to-one. So it don't matter how much you want from it, I'll always gain something new. And even all these lot who want to come and do it will gain something new as well. And obviously I've just got the brain of a sponge, as Shelley will say, that's in quotation marks, where it just soaks in and I just release it at the right time.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed with that, to be fair, because I wish my memory, I could just do with half what you use. Just before we go into some of the other bits that are currently available with Red Rose, Beth, thank you for this. You've just reminded us that we've got the women's group every Tuesday, which is 10 till 12. We also have a brew and banter meeting at the bus station cafe, 10 till 12 every Thursday. That's starting this Thursday.
Yeah, that's with the lovely Kim.
We've got the bib picture is on in Preston at the venue Disability Equality Centre, which is on Church Street, I believe. What else have we got here?
Men's group
At 1 o'clock every Tuesday, run by Gary and me.
Music therapy.
I like that music therapy on Monday.
Friday fun night.
It's brilliant. I
Friday
love the
fun night
music
at 7.
therapy.
We've got that much going on. It would just be so much easier if you went on the website, had a look at what's on calendar, and just get involved.
This is it. We do a variety of things, right? Yeah, there is nothing for anybody. There is nothing that nobody wouldn't like out there. We like I say, I think we do a great variety of different things for that'll accommodate different people, and that just get involved, find what you like, and stick with it. You know, you'll connect, you'll be socializing. You'll find that it'll open new doors for you. You'll find that you'll get the courage, and you'll go past that fear-based issues that we all have. I had loads. And you'll find yourself getting involved more with other things. Go on, Alan, did you say something, mate?
I said you were going laggy at some point, then, mate.
Yeah, just get involved. We've got a variety of things. We've got a variety of programs up and running all during the week. And there's football, like we say, and stuff, football training and football matches. We have items in the community. We have different projects going on in the community. There's loads of things. The leadership program, speaker boot camps up and running soon again, and stuff. We have loads of things. Just get involved. Find what you enjoy doing and stick with it.
So just on the back of that, I am aware of 2 other projects which might be coming into play in the near future. One involves woodwork. So watch this space if you're into your woodwork, and the other one involves a little bit of walking. So again, watch this space. Okay. So I think that naturally brings us towards the end of the program. So before we close, we want to do a prize giveaway. Who doesn't love a prize giveaway? Okay. So big thank you to everybody that's participated this evening. I know some of you've got to log off now. And sorry to see you go, but I get it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to share my screen again.
Can I just ask, what was this prize giveaway for?
This prize giveaway was to like and share the Red Rose Recovery Facebook page and to tag people into it. Okay, so like, share, follow and tag. And we had a number of people that entered, and there are 2 prizes. The first prize on the doors is a Luff hoodie, so Lancashire User Forum hoodie. And can I just say that even as staff, I've been trying to sneaky get one because they're pretty strong. They are cool. They are cool kit. So if I don't win this, I might cry. Okay, they are really cool. They're keeping them under lock and key, and they're not letting us have them. So believe me, this is the one to get. So let's see who gets it. Are you ready? Should we do a drum roll, guys?
So, I'm just going to guess it's going to be Stevie.
It's going to be Christopher Rainey.
Andy Campbell, congratulations. We will make sure that the hoodie gets sent to you, my friend.
Well done, Andy.
Well
We
done,
will
Andy.
keep in touch. I'm well, Gel. Let me
Do you
know.
know what, right, Shelley? How much will it cost to buy one?
I don't know if they're going to let them happen because they're they are really snazzy. They're black and they've got Lancashire User Forum down the arms, and
Right, so
they are
not
real.
being nasty, yeah, but as a service user for Lancashire User Forum and a volunteer, I should have one.
Well, we'll discuss that off record.
You're absolutely right, Alan. Right, yeah, because I think I should have one.
Exactly. So now you've got 3 of us in this meeting now that are jealous. Do
Brilliant.
Lead by example, gentlemen.
you know what, though? Absolutely amazing as Andy. Just keep it up, mate.
Yep. So congratulations, Andy. Let's have another roll and let's see where we get for the t-shirt. This being the Lancashire User Forum t-shirt, they are absolutely stunning and we wear them quite regular.
I think I've got one here to show if you want.
Chris Rowlands, have you got the new design?
The black one.
Yeah, the new design. So there you go, Chris. We will get the t-shirt over to you, my friend.
Well done, Chris.
There's one.
I'm well, Gel. I'm well,
There's
Gel.
one,
You'll have-
Shelley.
Just private message me, guys. Private message me, guys, what your price is. Okay, put that up again, Alan.
Oh, come on, man. So it's this one, yeah?
Yes, that's the bad boy.
Wear it with pride, people.
Oh, yeah.
Except on a really, really hot day when you're walking 17.8 miles because it gets a bit warm.
No,
And you
then
might
that's
wanna
where you
wear
wear
shorts as well.
the white Red Rose Recovery football top you wear then.
But you can't get one of them just willy-nilly, can you? How do you
No,
get one of those, Alan?
when you join the football team and you're playing and you start playing for us properly, you get asked if you want to buy a kit, which will cost you around 45 to 50 pounds. You get to pick your name and your number, and you keep the kit with you at all times. I've got my own kit. I've got the unlucky number for some, which is number 13. But obviously, Chris has got his own kit as well. But obviously, it's an amazing thing to get involved with this Red Rose Recovery. And I'll honestly say, yeah, Red Rose Recovery has done a lot for me. We've gone above and beyond sometimes. And I think the person knows who I'm talking about.
Cheers, Alan.
Right, guys, that's
no.
it for this evening. Unless we've got any last minute questions coming through. Oliver has logged in and said hi, so a big hello to Oliver. Who else have we?
Over, mate.
Julie Sansoni, hello, my darling. Tony Burns, just keep coming back, guys, keep coming back. I don't think we've got any more. So on that note, myself and my amazing leadership team bid you a very safe and lovely evening. We look forward to seeing you at training on Thursday. We look forward to seeing you at the game on Saturday. And we look forward to seeing you at all the groups in between, because believe me, guys, it's a lifeline. It's a lifeline that will breed lifelong friendships. So get on it. It's a free ticket. Get on board and sweet dreams, everybody.
Yeah, goodbye, everyone. Have a lovely night. And
Have a great evening.
lovely rest of your weekend.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Take care, everyone.